All right, welcome back to Atomic Diecast. In this episode, I'm going to cover one of my favorite car models, the Chevy Camaro. But before I get into that, I want to touch on collecting Hot Wheels in general. Obviously, you can't buy them all, depending on the source. Since 1968, there's something like 20,000 different variants. Base models are in the thousands. And then when you add how collectible some are, and or rare, it's impossible to acquire everything they've done. And that's why I recommend on focusing on what you like. And for me, there are three models that really has stuck with me over the years. The first of which is the 55 Chevy Bel Air Gasser. Between factory cars and customs I've made, I think I've got something like 120 different models, and I'm always adding to that. The second one that I love are flip-top funny cars, and I only collect the body styles that they did up until about the 1990s, which I think ended with the Ford Probe. After that, the scaling got a little goofy. The bodies don't open anymore, so I pretty much stuck with the stuff that they started doing in the late 60s up through the 90s. And the third model, and probably my favorite, are Chevy Camaros. I just love everything about the cars, all the models that they've done, with the exception of the 90s Camaros. I didn't really like those as much. I have a 2017 Camaro SS that I drive only on nice days and really enjoy that. And that's probably that and the 69 body style, 68, 69s, in the 2016 to 18s. Those are my favorite. And at last check, I think I got about 300 different Hot Wheels Camaros. Nearly all of them are factory. I think I've done about 2 or 3 customs, but pretty much everything is a Hot Wheels version. Now I've also collected certain series. I have all the cool classics. I've got all the since '68 cars and the Neo Classics, to name a few. But out of all of the stuff that I just mentioned, I get the most satisfaction from adding Camaros to my collection. And in fact, every year when Hot Wheels releases their upcoming models, I immediately check for 2. I want to see if they're going to bring out a 55 Bel Air Gasser, and I'm also interested in any upcoming Camaros. And so at the end of 2024, I saw that Hot Wheels was doing a 1970 RS Camaro as a mainline. And when 2025 rolled around, probably around February, somewhere in there, I started to see them in 8-packs, but I didn't buy any of them because the other cars in that set just didn't do much for me. So I held out, and again, I don't go to eBay and pay exorbitant prices for a $1 car. But then recently I was at Safeway doing grocery shopping, and they had a new display, and I found 2, and I bought both of them. I left one unopened, and I added the other to my display case, namely this car. And I think they did a great job with it. I'm partial to gold. I always like that color. The black accents are really slick. And other features worth mentioning on this is the hood scoop is well done. They did running light tampos on the front and rear quarter panels. They're small, but you can hopefully pick them up. And they also did silver hood pin accents on the front of the hood. Again, kind of hard to see, but really a neat touch. They did add their logo above the Goodyear decal on both sides. And I do wish that they had put taillight red tampos on the back. The 70 Camaros had really distinct rear ends with the 4 circular lights. But little rule of thumb, Hot Wheels only ever tampos 3 sides of a main line. And I guess that's to cut down on cost. Premiums get front, back, side, top, whatever, but they only do 3 on main lines, and on this one they did the sides and the roof. At least that's what I've noticed over the years. Maybe that hasn't always held, but seems to be the rule of thumb. The tampos on this are really clean. The paint is again nice. There's no blistering. There is one minor flaw, which is a thin spot on the roof's black stripe, but I can live with that. And you can only see it when the light hits it in a certain way. All right, well, in the interest of time, I won't go into much detail on the castings history. I'm not going to get into the 70 Camaro models. I mean, they were a muscle car. They came with big V8s. I will say, with respect to the castings history, The 70 Camaro RS came out in 2006, isn't ultra hot. Since then, they've done 17 versions, or at least 17 as of 2025. Hopefully, they'll do more in the future because I really like this casting. The model code on this is HYX03, but if you flip this one over, the base code is GTB37. I guess they did. I guess they used a Chrome base from 2020 because that's actually when it date codes to. And I did weigh the car, and it comes in at 32 grams. All right, before I get into the roll test, I forgot to mention in the prior segment that the wheels on this car are coded CB-RSW, which stands for Chrome Black Retro 5 slots, and I think they look pretty good. I'm also going to show you that this track is capable of showing cars that are really good rollers, meaning they can get to the end, they can get to 5. You know, to this point, most of the cars I've done have gotten to like 3, a couple have gotten close to 4. Anyways, I found there are about 5 or 6 cars that I've rolled out of maybe 100 some odd that will get to the end, and I wanted to prove that it's possible. So I took the Dune Crusher, which is kind of a funky looking car, but I'll show you how it does. I didn't expect with these big knobby tires it would do good, but as you'll see, it gets to the end. And in fact, I think it sometimes goes off the end. Let me try if I can see if I can get it to do that. Yeah, there you go. So it's possible. My track isn't so biased that it won't show a good roller. So let's see how this Camaro does. We'll do 3 rolls as usual and take an average. First roll. Wow, pretty good. Got to 4. Let's try it again. All right, not quite 4, but close. And the last one. Okay, I think I started it too far on one edge. Let me try it one more time. All right, a little past 4. So this car rolls really well. I'm happy with it. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe.